Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a heavy one, a heartbreaking story about a marriage shattered by infidelity. We're calling it The Affair Exposed, a husband's heartbreaking discovery. And trust me, it's a roller coaster of emotions. We're diving deep into the raw, painful experience of discovering your spouse's betrayal. This isn't just another dramatized reenactment. This is about the emotional turmoil, the gut-wrenching realization that everything you thought you knew was a lie. Imagine this, picture-perfect couple, right? Mark and Sarah. They seem to have it all. The beautiful home, the successful careers, the seemingly effortless charm they radiate whenever they're together. Social media would make you think they were living the dream. But behind that Instagram-worthy facade, cracks were beginning to show. Little things, a missed call here, a late-night text there. Maybe a sudden shift in their usual routines. Those subtle shifts that in hindsight become glaring red flags. But Sarah expertly hid them, hiding the weight of her secret behind a practiced smile and the skillful dance of maintaining appearances. Mark, oblivious to the storm brewing beneath the surface, lived in the blissful ignorance of a seemingly perfect marriage. He loved Sarah deeply and believed in their happily ever after. That's why the discovery was so devastating. It wasn't some grand reveal, a dramatic confrontation. It was a quiet, almost accidental, stumble upon evidence that completely shattered his world. A misplaced phone, an open laptop, a notification that shouldn't have been there. We'll show you the details, but keep in mind, we've blurred everything to protect privacy, because this is about the emotion, the feeling of betrayal, and not about pointing fingers. This wasn't just a stray glance. This was a full-blown affair. A betrayal of trust on a scale that's almost impossible to comprehend. The evidence, messages, photos, things that ripped away the foundation of his reality, leaving him reeling. We'll walk you through that moment of discovery, the raw shock, the gut-wrenching pain. Because that's what matters here. Understanding the impact of this devastating event on a human being. It's a journey of heartbreak, but also a journey of strength and resilience. And we'll be right there with Mark every step of the way. Stick around, it's about to get real. It all started so innocently. A routine check on his wife's phone. He'd never done it before, never felt the need. But a nagging feeling, a prickle of unease he couldn't quite explain, had him reaching for it. The phone, lying innocently on the nightstand, felt heavy in his hand. His heart hammered against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat against the silence of the room. He unlocked it, his finger trembling. He scrolled, his breath catching in his throat. Then he saw it. A photo slightly blurred, but undeniably intimate. A woman's arm wrapped around his wife, a woman he didn't recognize. It was a quick, stolen snapshot, seemingly casual, but the way his wife leaned into the other woman, it spoke volumes. He felt a cold dread seep into his bones. His vision swam, the edges of the photo blurring even further as his eyes welled up. He blinked rapidly, trying to clear his vision, but the image remained seared onto his memory. His fingers, still shaking, scrolled through the text messages. The screen displayed a whirlwind of hushed conversations, coded language, emojis that hinted at more than just platonic friendship. He read snippets. "I miss you. Can't wait to see you. Tonight." Each message felt like a punch to the gut. The words, once innocuous, now felt like daggers twisting in his soul. The carefree laughter he'd shared with his wife just hours before now seemed hollow, a cruel mockery of the pain tearing through him. He saw a picture of a restaurant receipt. He knew that restaurant. A restaurant they never went to. He slumped onto the bed, the phone slipping from his numb fingers. The world seemed to tilt, the floor rising to meet him, the room spinning into a vortex of betrayal and confusion. The idyllic image he had carefully constructed in his mind, the happy family, the loving marriage, shattered into a million pieces. His carefully curated reality was crumbling, and the pieces were sharp and unforgiving. He stared at the ceiling, the blurry photos and cryptic messages burned into his brain, the weight of his discovery pressing down on him with unbearable force. This wasn't just an affair. It was the destruction of everything he thought he knew. The silence in the room was deafening, broken only by the ragged, uneven rhythm of his own heart. The pain was raw, visceral, a physical wound that ripped through him. He didn't know what to do, where to turn. All he knew was that his world had irrevocably changed. The truth was out, and it was devastating. The discovery, it wasn't just a fleeting glimpse, it was a gut punch. He held my phone, a picture of him on the screen, his arm around me smiling. A smile I hadn't seen directed at my husband in months. The air in the room thickened, heavy with unspoken accusations. His eyes, usually so full of warmth, were now cold, distant. He didn't shout, he didn't scream. He just stared, a silent storm brewing behind his gaze. My initial reaction? Denial, pure and simple. A desperate, pathetic attempt to push it all away, to pretend it wasn't real. I stammered, mumbled excuses. Anything to avoid the truth staring back at me from his wounded eyes. It's not what it looks like, I whispered, my voice cracking under the weight of my lies. The words felt hollow, even as they left my lips. But the denial crumbled as quickly as it formed. He showed me the messages, the late-night calls, the meticulously crafted lies woven into the fabric of our life together. Each text, each photo, was a hammer blow to my already fractured composure. The dam broke. Tears streamed down my face, not just from the guilt and shame, but from the sheer devastation of losing him, of betraying his trust in such a profound way. Then came the anger, a raw, visceral fury directed at myself, at him, at the situation itself. How could I have done this? How could I have let myself fall so deeply, so blindly? The question swirled within me, a tempestuous storm reflecting the chaos in our collapsing world. The anger wasn't just towards him, but at my own weakness, my own selfish choices. It was a ferocious battle raging within me, a war of self-loathing and desperate regret. He was hurting too. I saw it in the way he clenched his fists, in the way his breath hitched in his chest. The pain etched on his face was a mirror reflecting my own agony. This wasn't just a fight about infidelity. This was a fight for our marriage, a fight for the life we once shared. A fight we both knew deep down we might not win. The air crackled with unspoken words, with the weight of years shattered in a single devastating moment. The silence between us was deafening, broken only by the ragged gasps for air, and the quiet sobs that escaped our lips. This was more than a battle of words. It was a battle for our very souls. So the initial shock has worn off, the denial has crumbled, and now, the digging begins. This isn't just about a fleeting moment of weakness. This is about understanding the why. Because Mark, my husband, deserved more than a simple "I'm sorry." He deserved the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And that truth was brutal. First there's him. The other man. I found a picture, a blurry, hastily deleted photo on her phone. He looked ordinary. Not some glamorous movie star, just a man. A man who somehow managed to chip away at years of commitment, of shared dreams, of a life built together. I tracked him down online, of course. His profile was unremarkable, a normal everyday life. The irony is almost painful. And then there's the duration. It wasn't a one-night stand. It wasn't even a short-lived fling. From the messages, the dates hidden in her calendar, I pieced together a timeline that stretched over months. Months of deceit. Months of lies whispered in the dark. Months of stolen moments that felt like a betrayal of everything we had. It felt like a slow, agonizing erosion of our marriage. I was numb for days processing it. And the reasons, oh, the reasons. That's where it gets truly heartbreaking. The initial confession was vague, blaming stress, work pressure, feeling unheard. But digging deeper, I found a pattern. A pattern of unmet needs, of unspoken resentments, of feelings ignored, dismissed, and ultimately pushed aside. It wasn't just one thing. It was a culmination of little things, tiny cracks that widened into a gaping chasm. She said she felt unseen, unappreciated, lost in the monotony of our lives. And that's a harsh truth, a painful admission. It was a complete breakdown of communication, which is something we should have worked through together. This isn't about assigning blame, not entirely. It's about understanding the complex web of emotions and circumstances that led to this devastating point. It's about confronting the harsh realities of a broken trust and the long, arduous journey toward healing that lies ahead. It's a painful truth, one I'm still struggling to accept, to comprehend, to even begin to process. But understanding is the first step. The first step to possibly moving forward. So the truth is out. The bomb has exploded. And now comes the fallout. The sheer devastation. It's almost impossible to describe. Imagine your world shattering piece by piece. That's what this is like for him. It's not just about the affair itself. It's about the erosion of trust. The betrayal on a level so deep it threatens to consume him entirely. We've seen the anger, the disbelief, the initial shock. Now the raw, gut-wrenching pain begins to set in. He's withdrawn, haunted by images and memories. Images that are probably flashing in his mind even as we speak, the betrayal playing on repeat. He might struggle to sleep, plagued by nightmares, his appetite gone, a constant knot of anxiety tightening in his chest. He's losing weight, he's not himself. Even his physical health is suffering. Think about the impact on the family. The children, if there are any, are sensing the shift, the tension in the air. They might be acting out, having trouble sleeping, or withdrawing themselves. They're picking up on the unspoken feelings, the arguments, the silence. And all of this is crushing their little worlds. The family dinners, once a source of comfort and connection, are now tense, awkward affairs, filled with unspoken anxieties. Even the simplest things like bedtime stories feel tainted. There's a palpable sense of loss hanging over everything. Daily life becomes a struggle. He might find himself avoiding places they used to frequent as a couple, places that trigger painful memories. The house, once a sanctuary, now feels like a prison, a constant reminder of the shattered dreams. Even the simplest routines, making coffee in the morning, watching TV in the evening, become unbearable reminders of what was, and what's irretrievably lost. Little things, gestures of love and affection, that used to come naturally, feel impossible now. There's a chasm between them, a vast and seemingly unbridgeable gap, where intimacy once flourished. This isn't just emotional turmoil, it's a full-blown crisis. He might be experiencing depression, anxiety, even thoughts of self-harm. He might turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms, alcohol, drugs, isolation to numb the pain. It's crucial to understand that this isn't weakness. It's a testament to the depth of the trauma he's enduring. He needs help. He needs support. And it's critical to remember that recovery from this kind of betrayal takes time, patience, and professional help. The road ahead is long and arduous, and it's going to be incredibly challenging for everyone involved. The marriage as it existed before is likely gone, but the journey towards healing and a potential new future, however uncertain, is just beginning. The raw pain of betrayal is almost unbearable, isn't it? We've just witnessed the shattering of a seemingly perfect life, the fallout of a devastating discovery. But now let's talk about something incredibly important: healing. What happens after the initial shock, the anger, the confusion? That's where this part gets really crucial. For our husband, the road to recovery isn't a straight line. It's a messy, winding path filled with ups and downs. How he chooses to navigate this is entirely up to him, and it's vital he chooses wisely. We saw the devastation on his face. That's the raw, unfiltered pain of a broken trust. Bottling that up will only make things worse. Some men in this situation might withdraw, isolating themselves in their pain. Others might lash out, fueled by anger and resentment. But true healing comes from facing the hurt head-on. And that requires support. This isn't about weakness, it's about strength. It takes immense strength to admit you need help. Does he lean on his friends? Does he confide in his family? Maybe he seeks professional help from a therapist. And honestly, that last one might be the most powerful option. A therapist offers a safe space to process those overwhelming emotions, to unpack the layers of hurt and betrayal without judgment. They can provide tools and strategies to navigate the complexities of his situation and help him regain a sense of self. This isn't just about fixing the marriage, although that might be a goal. It's about rebuilding him. It's about rediscovering his sense of self-worth, his confidence, his ability to trust again. The healing process isn't a race, it's a marathon. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, days where the pain feels insurmountable. But with the right support system, he can weather the storm. He might need to journal, to express his emotions through creative outlets, or find solace in physical activity. Anything that helps him process his feelings in a healthy way. It's about finding his own coping mechanisms, the things that bring him comfort and a sense of calm amidst the chaos. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. It's about acknowledging the depth of the hurt and actively working towards healing. It's a journey, and it's okay to ask for help along the way. We'll be exploring this further in the next section. But for now, let's remember that healing is possible, even after the most devastating betrayals. It takes time, it takes effort, but with support it's attainable. So where do we go from here? The dust has settled somewhat. The raw emotion, the gut-wrenching pain, it's still there, lurking beneath the surface. But we've reached a turning point. This isn't just about the affair itself anymore. It's about what comes next. And honestly, that's the scariest part. What I've learned. Well, it's a long list, isn't it? I learned that trust, once broken, takes monumental effort to rebuild. It's not just about words. It's about consistent actions, showing up day after day, proving your commitment. I learned that even seemingly perfect relationships have cracks, hidden vulnerabilities we might not even be aware of. I learned that communication, real, open, honest communication, isn't a luxury. It's the foundation upon which a healthy relationship is built. And maybe the hardest lesson of all, that we can't control other people's actions, but we can absolutely control our own responses. We can choose how we react, how we heal, and how we move forward. This isn't about assigning blame anymore. That's a rabbit hole I've already fallen down and climbed back out of. The anger is still there sometimes, but it's fading. It's being replaced by something else, a quiet determination, a resolve to pick up the pieces, to rebuild myself, and to figure out what kind of life I want regardless of what happened. Maybe we rebuild. Maybe we don't. But even if the relationship can't be salvaged, the important thing is this: we can still heal. We can still find strength, even in the face of unimaginable heartbreak. We can learn to trust again, even if that trust looks different now. It takes time. It takes courage. It takes a willingness to be vulnerable, to be open to the possibility of hope, even when it feels impossible. This experience has shattered my world, yes, but it hasn't destroyed me. It's made me stronger, more resilient, more aware of my own needs and desires. And I know deep down that there is light at the end of this tunnel. It may be a long, dark tunnel, but the light is there. And I'm going to walk towards it, one step at a time. This isn't a fairy tale ending. It's a real story, a story of pain and struggle, but also a story of resilience and hope. And I want you to know, if you're going through something similar, you are not alone. You are stronger than you think, and you deserve to find healing and peace. Remember that. Please remember that. So we've walked through this incredibly painful journey with Mark, from the shattering discovery to the agonizing fallout, and finally, his tentative steps towards healing. But this isn't just Mark's story. Millions of people experience the devastating impact of infidelity every single year. And the pain is real, raw, and utterly consuming. It's a wound that cuts deep, leaving scars that take time, and often professional help to mend. That's why this next part is so incredibly important. This isn't just about watching a story unfold. It's about recognizing that you're not alone. If you're going through something similar, whether you're the one who discovered the affair or the one who caused the heartbreak, please know there are resources available to help you navigate this incredibly difficult time. We're not therapists, and this video isn't a replacement for professional help, but we want to provide you with some starting points. In the description box below, you'll find links to several organizations that offer relationship counseling, both online and in person. These professionals are trained to help you process your emotions, understand the complexities of the situation, and develop healthy coping mechanisms. Remember, seeking professional help is a sign of strength, not weakness. We've also included links to support groups, both online and offline. Connecting with others who have been through similar experiences can be incredibly validating and empowering. Knowing you're not alone, that others understand your pain, and that there's a community offering support can make a world of difference. And finally, we've listed several helplines, phone numbers and websites where you can connect with someone 24/7 for immediate support. These lines offer a safe space to talk things through, receive immediate emotional support, and access crisis intervention if needed. Don't hesitate to reach out. There is always someone available to listen. This journey to healing is a marathon, not a sprint, and it's okay to ask for help along the way. The process looks different for everyone, but finding the right resources and support system can significantly impact your ability to move forward. Now, I want to encourage you, if you feel comfortable, to share your experiences in the comments below. Remember, be respectful of others, but sharing your story, even anonymously, can be a powerful act of healing and can help others feel less alone in their struggles. Let's build a supportive community here, where we can offer understanding, empathy, and hope. Remember, healing is possible. You are not alone.